Jadon Sancho back to Borussia Dortmund on loan is here we go. Welcome to the United Hotspot. My name is Webb. Now, finally, this long, much anticipated loan move back to Borussia Dortmund by Jadon Sancho, a guy who has been banished from Manchester United for months now, is finally done. United have agreed with Borussia Dortmund a deal that is short, a loan deal of 6 months between now and the end of the season. There is no option to buy him back, but this is the agreement. Manchester United is going to receive 4 million euros. Yes, 4 million euros from the deal. Of course, now that sounds petty. That sounds so little. Petty cash, I should say, to Borussia Dortmund, considering that they received close to 70 million pounds from the deal when we signed him back in 2021. So 2 years after Jadon Sancho joined Manchester United, he is going to be going back to where he came from. The deal also includes an option for Borussia Dortmund to pay a significant part of his wages. United apparently is going to pay about 100,000 pounds per week of his wages. The rest of it is going to be met by Borussia Dortmund. So it's a decent deal. I think it sort of eases our wage bill a bit, but also us getting a bit of some cash from the deal, 4 million euros. If you add that to what we could get from Anthony Martial, we are in that situation, guys. We are that broke. So if you add that, maybe we could raise some bit of funds to buy a player, because we certainly need to replace him. We need players, especially forwards. I mean, knowing that our forwards are not scoring goals lately, we need forwards. So it's a proper deal. It is now done and dusted. He has already taken his flight to Germany. He's going to join Borussia Dortmund. I told you before, he had already packed his bags and ready to go and play football, enjoy the game. It's good, honestly, to see Jadon Sancho back playing. I think it's good for Manchester United. We know, for me, this deal being a 6-month deal and there's no option of buying him back, for me, it shows me one thing, that Sir Jim and his team believe that there is a chance, a realistic chance, that Jadon Sancho can return at Manchester United. Remember, it was said recently that the plan for Ineos is to bring Mason Greenwood and Sancho back in the summer after assessing how they perform, and they make a decision on their future. So the reality is that, for me, shows me that maybe Eric Ten Hag is not in the ultimate long-term plan of Ineos. That, for me, is what it shows, because probably they don't want to sell him completely now. Remember, any deal we do right now involving a player, involving football matters at United, is signed on by Sir Jim and his team. So definitely, for me, that's a good sign. It shows us that maybe these guys have a long-term plan for the club. It's an important thing. So that's done and dusted. So for those of you who have been wanting to see Sancho on the pitch, and the reality is, I don't think Sancho failed at Manchester United. I think he was not only failed by the system, but like all many other players we've had, I think he's a good player who did not get so much chances. I think Sancho deserved more chances than Anthony. I think he has warranted more chances than Anthony. So the reality is, we do hope he does go and rejuvenate his career at Borussia Dortmund, where he was loved and adored. But also, we hope that at the end of the summer, at the end of the season, in the summer rather, he returns and probably becomes an important player like we hoped he would be for Manchester United. So that's a quick one that just happened today. So what does this mean? It means now that our team, our wage bid is a bit, softened a bit, because a few pounds, maybe about £100,000 per week, is saved by the club. Then that is money we can use to pay a player who we should bring in January. United seems to be serious about finding a backup striker for Rasmus Højlund. Now, there is talk of several ones. Sahu Girassi, he's still on the list for Manchester United. Remember, Timo Werner was knocked off. So Sahu Girassi is a serious one that we are looking at. So it is going to be, for me, a good few days coming for Manchester United. The fact now, I think what we should expect to see now is news, an update on Anthony Martial and whether we are going to sell him to Fenerbahce, who offered about £7 million. So there's a bit, this is exactly the situation we are in. We need to sell to buy players. This is the situation we are in. And I love to see that it's happening. Now, the other, of course, a serious player now we've got to focus on. I spoke about Anthony Martial, there for a while, but Raphael Varane's situation is also not done. It seems there are reports coming through suggesting that Varane might actually leave. Yes, I think the frustration could be there. Varane could leave in the summer, most probably. The frustration is there, but United are hoping they can cash him in, before his contract expires. That's the idea. Like I said, the sell to buy situation dictates that Man United is supposed to sell as many players as they can now. Now, with Varane being an important player and a senior player, it's confusing what exactly we've got to do with him, because we want to finish on a high this season, but we also want to make money. So that confusion is what is sort of stalling the whole situation. Man U are not exactly excited about giving him a new contract on new terms, but also Varane is not so eager. He's not so eager to move. So it's a rock and a hard place for either way. I mean, it's a difficult situation we are in with Varane, and the reality is Man United are still now confused on what exactly to do with Rafael Varane. The Varane situation is one we need to monitor to the latter. So the transfer window for United, when it starts, by the way, it doesn't stop. Usually, history has made it clear. When it starts happening, things start happening at Man United, they don't stop. So expect more news to come through with Manchester United. Several players like we are always linked with, but the reality is for United, the priority is to find a forward. We've spoken about many, but most of the ones we've been linked with lately, the Mike Ollises of this world, are for the summer. But the quick fixes, remember Rasmus Højlund is looking blunt, struggling to score goals. He's only 20. Of course, you would understand. He has got the attributes of a top striker, which we all agree, but he's not there. So we need a backup striker, someone who is going to push him and perhaps teach him how to finish, because the weakness of Højlund right now is finishing, not positioning, which is the harder thing, by the way. I think it's harder to position yourself right as a striker than it is to finish off balls. So usually when you get in the right places, eventually you start scoring. And usually, if you are a natural striker, when you start scoring, the goals will keep coming. It just floodgates will keep coming if you've got the striker's instinct. So that's where United is focused on right now in this January transfer window. Who do we bring in to back him up? Sahu Girassi, still working wonders at Stuttgart. He's still eager to leave. He has made it clear he doesn't want to stay. If a club in the Premier League comes and triggers his buyout clause, Sahu Girassi will be leaving the next day. His bags are probably as packed as mine, because I told you on the 12th, you will see where exactly I will be. That's why I'm here. You see, I'm in a different space, but it's because I'm on the move. I'm going somewhere, and it's all for you, fam. It's all for you. It's all to focus on bringing you the best here on the United Hotspot. So follow me and every video I drop, because, guys, I do have a lot coming through. I told you this January, we've got to follow United to the latter. And trust you me, I'm not resting on my laurels. I'm giving it to you as it comes. So that's exactly what's happening. So Jadon Sancho, all the best. We do hope that sooner rather than later, immediately after the end of his short trip back to Germany, when it's done, probably this way, he will be freed. Ineos will be fully in charge, all confirmed. And trust you me, Sancho could return and be an important player for Manchester United. The United Hotspot, my name is Well. Subscribe. Sancho to Borussia Dortmund is here we go. Catch you later, fam.